Hey everyone, and welcome to Comic Breakdown. If you are new to the channel, please hit that sub button and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're not missing any of the content that we have coming out. And today, we're going to be diving into X-Men 10 of Swords. This will be part 17 of 22, or X-Force issue number 14. Now, I have covered every single issue of X of Swords. If you guys are not caught up on everything 10 of Swords related, I will leave a link in the description and at the top of this video. Go check it out, get completely caught up on the biggest X-Men event of the year. Now, the story is really taking quite a while to get to where we are now, but we're finally in the midst of our Mortal Kombat style duel. And it's 10 warriors, 10 champions from each side. 10 from Krakoa and 10 from Morocco. But what we've really seen so far is Saturnine, or Saturnine, however you would like to pronounce it. Saturnine is really manipulating the situation. She's changing the rules that they thought were laid out. We really thought we were going into this and it would be just an all-out brawl. But what we're seeing is more of games. We're seeing arm wrestling. We're seeing drinking contests, things of that nature. Just really ridiculous things that don't really make sense to why these are the particular challenges that are coming up. And so without further ado, let's dive into this issue. So diving into this issue, Magic's card is drawn again. Magic and Pog had originally already fought. They did a arm wrestling competition and Magic lost. But this time, it's not some dumb little game or anything of that nature. It's a fight to the death. Not with swords or weapons or anything of that nature. Strictly hand-to-hand combat. And as soon as the bell is essentially rung, Pog eats Magic. Now, before she was eaten, she was going to say something. And what she was going to say is that she learned that the Morocco word for sword is actually Pog. And so she figured out that inside of Pog is actually somebody like working the machinery, if you will. This is a giant suit, and he's using it to protect himself. And so Magic, after being swallowed, drags him out from the inside. And Magic just lays waste to him. Because after he's not in his organic suit, if you will, once he's taken out of that, he's absolutely nothing. And this is where we get a glimpse of a bunch of challenges that were brought up. One seems to be, Captain Avalon and War being tortured. There seems to be another one where they have to push boulders up a mountain. Dance competitions, putting puzzles together, what seems to be land navigation of sorts. Like, it's just a lot of really, really ridiculous and outlandish challenges that make no sense to why they would even have these competitions. And then after all this, we pick up in the Crooked Market. Now, a lot of people have been talking about Jim Jaspers and how they think Jim Jasper is actually behind all of this, and that he is secretly manipulating all of this because of his power level. Now, that could be the case, and this could all be Jasper's doing. But as it stands, he's really just a bystander in all this. Now, there could be some things definitely we don't know behind the scenes, but as it seems, is really he's just here for the show and to find any way he can benefit from any of this. And so picking up in the Crooked Market, we have Captain Avalon, and she pretty much tells him, like, listen, you can be Captain Britain now. Like, you're the Captain Britain I wanted anyway, so why don't you pick up the mantle? And Captain Avalon's just not having it. He is just done with Saturnine at this point. Like, Betsy was literally blown into pieces. But the real reason he is here is for his next challenge. And his challenge is against Redroot. And it's pretty much a foot race through the Crooked Market. And as this race begins, Captain Avalon is pretty much immediately jumped by Saturnine's lackeys. And this puts Redroot in the lead. Now, as they're going through this race and all of this is happening, Redroot knocks over something and knocks a crystal onto the ground. It shatters. Captain Avalon is just causing ridiculous amounts of damage. and Red Root starts to cross the finish line. And this is when Saturnine arrives and just pretty much says, bravo, congratulations, you won. But really, they didn't win because this is the crooked market. And Jim Jaspers has been tallying up how much money they owe him because of the destruction to property. Now, while this conversation is happening, Captain Avalon's still getting he's getting his head wrung. And Red Root, while she won, Red Root is pretty much shrunk down and put in a glass jar, if you will. Essentially a way of paying the debt for the irreplaceable and priceless crystal that she had knocked over. And she only knocked over that little thing. Now, Captain Avalon took it to a whole nother level. And this is where Saturnine plays her conniving games, and she's like, listen, like, you're in a lot of trouble. We could send you to the debt collectors, more or less, or you can ask me for a favor. Now, we pick up with more of the contests. And they're not really battles or anything like that. They're simple things, like Wolverine and the White Sword, Purity, staring into a mirror and seeing every single person that they've ever killed without blinking, without shedding a tear. And Wolverine actually loses this. Like, Wolverine feels the emotion of the people that he's killed, versus Purity is literally just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill everybody in my way, and I really don't care. Now, at this point, Krakoa is down by 10 points. It is 15 to 5 right now. And so they are losing extremely drastically. But it's not because of their lack of trying or their lack of skill, but because of the rules and stipulations of each challenge are something completely different than what any of them had prepared for, either side. But they have been heavily weighing against Krakoa from the very beginning. And this has to be a ploy from Saturnine, because at the end of the day, she's the one manipulating all this. Like, one challenge is literally kill this kitten. That's it. Like, Captain Avalon and War are put in front of a kitten and they just say, kill the kitten. Like, just ridiculous, unnecessary, even cruel challenges. But it's testing every aspect of them. And then we finally get to the big one. The big fight of this issue. And that is Death versus Storm. Now, Storm is dropped into the battle arena, if you will. And this is directly after she had been drinking with Wolverine. And so Storm, while not fully up to par, and actually her powers are mitigated completely because of whatever tonic she had drank, Storm will finally dance with Death yet again. And these two are going at it, and it seems like Death has the upper hand at first. But Storm shatters his sword, and Death takes off his helmet. And he goes to make an attack at her, but instead, Storm drives her dagger directly into his chest. Now, the arena they were brought to was essentially the land of the undead. Zombies, if you will. And so as soon as he started bleeding, all of the undead that were in the stands watching as this battle went on jump out, and they eat Death in pieces, and he is no more. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. This was really just, more filling the gap of what's to come, I think. Which I think they should definitely not be doing anymore. We're on issue 17 at this point. I would have really liked to see more panels dedicated to Death and Storm fighting. Maybe less of them showing us the most random challenges that they're doing. It definitely gives context to what's happening. But these fight scenes deserve much more attention than they're actually getting. But that's just my personal opinion. These fights aren't something to be taken lightly. Storm could have easily died in this issue. Obviously, they're not going to do that, But the possibility was there. And I feel like these fights are becoming anticlimactic. They really built us up for this Mortal Kombat style duel that's going to happen between two different worlds. And instead, we're getting a child's game. And it's pretty much like somebody wrote up, like a 10-year-old in the writing room is just like, hey, what challenges can we do? Let's do an arm wrestling contest. Let's do a puzzle. Who can put together a puzzle the fastest? Let's challenge them to kill a kitten. Just really weird and obscene challenges, in my opinion. And we could have seen less of that and more of the fighting. But let me know what you guys think. You know, how are you guys liking Ten of Swords so far? We're coming to a close, so if you're in this deep already, I know that you're going to keep going to the end. So if you're not liking it, let's just bear through, drive on. Hopefully what comes next will be even better. And if you guys are worried, don't be. I will be continuing to cover X-Men following this event. We will be covering all of their lines, so don't worry. We'll be well deep into X-Men mythos. So yeah, if you guys have not yet, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And until the next video.